Life was never meant to be a struggle. A tiny little book written by Stuart Wilde. Stuart Wilde, for those who don't know him, he was a very gifted teacher, author, and at the end of his life, he was also a healer. The last thing he mentioned before he passed away in his last interview was how he wanted to go to Japan and help the victims of the Fukushima disaster. Anyway, this little book is about 48 pages long. It's very easy to read and simple to understand. He starts with the following. Life was never meant to be a struggle, just a gentle progression from one point to another, like walking through a valley on a sunny day. In this book, Stuart Wilde has a simple way of explaining why people choose to see life as struggle instead of going with the flow and making things happen without aggravating themselves, without stressing too much, which is the natural way, the God-given way. So he starts off by showing different types of people and the way they choose to see life as struggle. And he starts off with the Strugglers Hall of Fame. If you want to make it in life, you have to work hard. Life is about pain and struggle. Is this true? He asks us to think about this statement. He also asks if this is part of our programming, or is it the true nature of people to struggle through life to make something happen. We have been programmed to think that nothing comes easy, or easy come, easy go. So we choose to believe that struggling makes life worth living. But is it so? Or could our lives be easier and simpler if we just chose to let things happen as they will, and then go along and find the joys of life without trying to impress others, showing others that because we are tired, because we're struggling, because we're working 24 hours a day, that we should be celebrated, that we should be seen as something special, admired, and loved. Because that's the wrong way to go about finding love. Our physical condition involves just effort, unlike struggle, which involves effort plus emotion plus desperation. Here, Stuart Wilde describes different archetypes and how it is they view life, so he can help the reader identify with one of the archetypes and see how he can solve his own problems. So some of the archetypes mentioned are the hero. This is a man who likes running around, trying hard, and hoping that people will see him as a good man or woman. It doesn't matter the result, just the seemingly effort to make people notice that this man creates hectic schedules, long hours, meetings of extra importance, and everything else he does is part of the act. The next archetype is the terrorist. This person is uncomfortable with him or herself, never been accepted, and bears some kind of grudge. So always someone else is at fault for whatever is happening to him. So this person keeps struggling through 100 projects that never come off. So nothing this person starts to do ever gets finished, because always there is someone else presumably stopping him or her. Another archetype is the professional wimp. This person is too weak to command life, so he lets everyone else lead him by the nose. He does what he is told, and then of course he would complain that nothing gets done because the people who tell him what to do, they don't know what they're saying. So he gets angry and protests, and he gets nowhere. And then eventually no one cares, so he keeps whimpering. The next kind of archetype, which is related to the previous one, is the spiritual wimp. He has a huge ego. He is so holy that he can't soil his hands with life. So he actually never does anything because he is so special and everyone else should do things for him. Another archetype, this one concerns mainly women, is the archetype of the goddess. This is the kind of person that says, please accept me. I am great. I am strong as any male. And this kind of person usually dresses in male clothes, drives fast cars, super aggressive, and tries to make up for lack of confidence with everything else that she either wears or has. Another type of person is the wilting wallflower. This again describes women, and this person would say, I am weak, I don't understand life, please save me, please look after me. It's hard for her to feel self-worth, so she's always asking for someone else to help her. And usually the people who would go around trying to help this person, they cannot stay there for a long time because they see that there is no way out. There is no way that this person will ever be helped. Often we don't see that we are struggling, says Stuart Wilde. And why is it that we don't know we're struggling? Because we never pay attention to how we feel or what it is that we are actually saying or doing in life. So in order to identify the fact that we are struggling, the first thing we need to do is identify struggle. That is, look at our body, our emotions, our relationships, our living circumstances, our finances, our attitude towards others or towards life, and at our ability to handle stress and conflict. The next thing we need to do is see the reasons or aspects of our struggle. Do we have a big ego? Do we feel that struggle is noble? Do we set unrealistic goals that we know we're never going to achieve? And then when we don't achieve them, complain and whimper and say it's because of others, or whatever other reason we might find. Or we don't understand the universal laws and we push too hard. The more we push, our goal keeps going further away from us. Or do we worry what other people think of us or what we do in life? So we have given our power to others. Or do we have a lack of stability? Do we know how to say no? Or do we always accept what the other people tell us and they lead us around with no purpose? Do we have a poorly designed lifestyles? Do we lack order? So now that you have identified the reasons why you're creating struggle in your life, then it's time to start dumping all the reasons that keep you tied to hard life. And you would start carrying yourself. Nothing will carry you. So unless you start doing things for you, nobody else is going to do them for you. And even if you try so hard to get a house or a car just to impress others, do you really think that these people care about your car? People who actually care about you, they don't mind if you have car A or car B or house A or house B, unless these people are attracted to you because of material wealth. So here you need to start getting rid of people who are pulling you down. and get your own army of helpers. You need to choose carefully. And always know not to be afraid to let people go. If they are not the right people for you, even if they are your friends or family, you can start distancing yourself from them. People like to have company in misery, but do you want to be in the misery of others, or do you want to make your life better? Then you need to go beyond rigid opinion. There is always more than one way to skin a rabbit. So if you want to do something and you have a certain opinion of how to do it, maybe start being more flexible and see if there are easier ways of achieving the same thing. Find other ways, talk with people, get different ideas. Maybe you will be astonished with what you find. Then you need to see if you are in control of your life. See if you have others controlling you, and if you do, then it's time to get the control back. Once you accept you are the cause of struggle, you can eliminate it. And you would start reprogramming your attitudes. Whenever you catch yourself thinking or doing certain things that pull you towards struggle, you will immediately start identifying them. And then you start changing your way. A journey always starts with a first step, and you keep taking one step after the other. Even if you're running, you're still going one step after the other. Put yourself in non-confrontational mode. That means get yourself out of negativity, get inner calm, and this calm, beautiful energy around you will pull more opportunities to yourself. You will see yourself moving towards your final goal. When you are able to sustain this goal and a life with no struggle, then you are ready to teach someone else. And when you teach others, you become better and better at it. And then this other person can go off and teach someone else. Life is a lesson, and life is enjoyed while we're living it. It's not enjoyed while we're just looking at the goal and not doing anything about it. So start now, get yourself this tiny little book, read it and reread it and follow all the steps. I'm sure you'll soon be able to live the life you've always been dreaming of. I wish you all the best and Godspeed.